Mark, Milan, Benedek, Gabo. Wow.
Hi.
That's a lot.
Hi there.
So we merged last week. We merged on Orchard 1, adding redirects to overridden routes in AdminController. There were some missing return URL, I think. If it was that. Custom route redirection. Get custom content item route redirection. Content item metadata. And now there is a new remove. Is that new? This is a name. Let me see. Controller guys. What? Just that has changed? That's weird.
So the change is that when you try to edit content item, let's say a blog, which had its own controller for editing through the AdminController from the contents area, it will now redirect you to the correct controller. So you would get the editor that you were supposed to do that thing with, instead of the default one.
Okay, good. But why? Okay. Is this necessary? I didn't see it.
Well, I thought it's nicer.
I didn't see it used.
So you don't have to, hard code stuff like that, and you have a place where you can see what kind of routes exist.
Is it? Okay. I didn't see that. It's used. Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. So that's how we kind of select which route to use. Yeah.
Okay. Placements, path condition, strips. So managing the tenant prefix in the placement files. You reviewed it. I merged it. Good, and that's it. Interestingly, previous one, it was last week. Adding all these search providers. Milan. Good.
Yes, and we would like to demo that actually.
Awesome.
Or Milan would like it actually.
Actually not, but
no, it's fine.
Merging more stuff here. Oh, I got just made on fire. What are you? Okay, Jean-Philippe. Here, localization settings, step documentation. So documentation for the localization settings. Recipe step name settings, localization settings, default cultures, supported cultures. Yep. Then we'll look at the branches after. Dev branch is the yellow one. A fixed typo in content localization. Format 1. Okay. Then update theme templates to use liquid filter on HTML fields. Okay, yeah, good job. There is a new liquid filter that I think Jean-Thierry made, and everything that can contain some liquid will now be liquidified. Yes, liquidified. And then let me think. I saw another issue with double encoding. I think Jasmin mentioned that. If I look at it, this is HTML. I see the issue, because this one, oh, there's a pipe pro, so this one should not encode. Or should it? It should not. But maybe some other ones might have to. So maybe the liquid filter should accept an argument with the kind of encoding that we must apply when we render the liquid here. Or don't do any encoding, so that the default encoding here will be applied, which in this case will be HTML, unless we have a pipe raw. So liquid here should not encode anything by default. I hope this is the case. We can check that later. Prevent collisions with MVC script tag helper. I saw the PR merged it last Thursday. That was this thing to remove to fix the issue. Add permission for SearchController API, so a new permission to allow for the search controller, like the API, the search API. Supports it. Is it defined by default? Good question. This is not added by default for the anonymous user. Interesting. Should it be added by default to the anonymous user? Otherwise, you won't be able to use a feature if you don't allow for the permission, and nobody will know why it doesn't work. Like this, just find an issue if you think you will see that on a live site. Support single object in BooleanQueryProvider. Okay, this is an improvement so that the Elasticsearch language, DSL, will support not only the array definition but also a single object in the BooleanQueryProvider. Fixes an async call. Here, so it will compile and it will work. The issue being that because it's not awaited, this code might be executed before that is done. So we need to await, because this thing will be impacted by the result of this thing. Prevents an antiforgery issue and setup, so an old issue that will log some antiforgery exception if you set up the same tenant multiple times on your local machine, and people will be confused by that. So now he fixed it by just cleaning the cookies, well, the exact cookie that we generate if the tenant is in the setup phase. Role-based permissions to display admin menus. So now you can set dynamic permissions for each of the admin menu. Add executeQuery global method so that you can execute some named query from from JavaScript scripts. So we have now an executeQuery in every script, workflow activity, or layers, anything that is using JavaScript on the server side. Could be super useful. ZoneOnDemand.AddAsync, so that we don't have to use getResult when adding shapes. Where was the example? this is the same thing. Add async. I don't remember exactly where the issue was. I don't see any here. Here maybe, and I missed it. Probably here. Because of that maybe. I don't remember, but we talked about it, and he implemented the recommended design, so that's good. 4 days ago, I'm surprised nothing else has been merged. A secure content picker controller with admin filter, such that this can be used from the front end, because it should not. And this is for the admin. So this is just an admin controller for the content picker. This should not be available on the front end. Okay, so other branches. So this one is another one. This one has been updated on the 3.0 branch, fixes diagnostics page. It's refactoring. So I assume just reacting to changes in the preview versions. Just been working with the Webpack. This is just been working on the Lucene Analyzer feature. Jasmine, fixing the ref exception on the YouTube field display driver that we could actually remove, because if you have a good memory, you know that we agreed on having YouTube field only because at that time we didn't have a way to have custom editors for a video field or something like this, media field. And the idea was that once we have the custom editors, we could have a YouTube picker for media or video field. I don't remember what we said, so that you could select a YouTube link to reference a video, or maybe it was OEmbed. I don't know. I don't remember what we said, but we should not have this field. So it's fine to fix it, but ideally we should rename it, we should remove it and replace it by a reusable one with a custom editor for YouTube. I need to find the reference to the discussion, maybe on the issue or the meeting, to see what we said about what field we wanted to create an editor for. Memory field select box not required fix. Okay, I assume these are all PRs. These look good. Don't have to wait for Thursday. If someone agrees with the change, just merge it. Removing unnecessary styling and reCAPTCHA. Okay. ASP append version and admin scripts. That's interesting. Why wouldn't we do that everywhere? And could it be a global setting like we have for CDN or debug mode, so that we could say always append or never append, or based on the type? That could be interesting to do that. If there is no drawback of doing it. To prevent integrity attributes from being HTML encoded. If this is such an issue, it should have been merged already. That's weird. Then run admin attribute before any global filter with a default value of 0. There must be an issue with that. I will need to read. Be careful with this one. So what's the reason for that, Jasmine? Is it because of Chinese CDNs? I think this is the one we use for the one that was for jQuery, right?
Yes, and last week Vue.js.org was down, and it's not a CDN, so all the scripts were failing.
So this one is the one we were using for jQuery because in China this was the only one that was working, correct?
Yes, JS Developer, yes.
Yes, so then that's good, and we can do it for anything. And I also looked at the time I looked at the performance of that thing, and it was one of the fastest one too. So we should go with this one if we can for everything. But at least have it for Vue.js, so that's good. Yeah, merge it. Don't wait for me.
I think someone else did a more complete PR, Dean Markinson. This is why I have not added everything in that one.
Okay.
We need to move also Vue.js to the resource manager or some. Is it resource something? Resource manifest.
Or in the admin theme, as a resource in the admin theme.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to see which project we have with what scripts we defined. Hallucination convention of null field values.
Yeah, you asked me to try with an empty string instead. Which I could try also.
The 0 is weird. Maybe it could be some kind of integer, the mean value, something like that. Okay, we'll see on Thursday. I need more time to understand what's happening here. Make register FP script virtual folder and tenant aware. Okay. Because it's some script tag generated like this, which is weird. Why not use? There is another syntax to define a URL, so that will handle that automatically. That's weird. I will not use that. I don't think it's the correct fix. It's a fix to the wrong usage of that, so I think we should find a better usage of that. And the refactoring on what? Async branch, apparently some more async issues. Async view result filter, maybe something new in ASP.NET? No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. More async stuff. That's good. We'll see on the PR on Thursday. Okay. Questions? Is there more demo than Milan. Okay, so Milan, your turn.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah, I'm the only one who can't.
Yeah. I can see it now.
Yeah, it's wait for me. I'm recording.
Okay, so hi everyone. Sorry.
I can see now. Now you can start.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. A little introduction about myself because I haven't made a demo yet. I'm Milan Keszhely. I'm working with Lombik for 4 years. And I made contributions in the past, but probably this is the biggest yet. I'm going to talk about media library web search module. We had, sorry, okay, there is an overlay which bothers me. Okay, so there was an old image search in Orchard, but Microsoft is no longer, but the Microsoft is no longer supported the old API, and also it was hard coded mostly because so I made a very new module in Orchard.1.x and implemented free image search providers, Pixabay being Google, and I haven't touched the old functionality, just there is one new UI element on the media library web search. And yes. Okay, so everything is still working like in the past. You can search your favorite cat pictures or dog if you want, but you can pick your favorite image search provider from now, and you can open the source of that also, and obviously import the images into your media library. Come on. It's stuck for me because it's a live demo. A minute.
It's not internet. We can still see.
Sorry?
It's not internet.
But I can't refresh my own chat site. Okay, it's awkward.
Maybe it's the UK stuff.
Okay, whatever. You can check the. Oh, no. Okay, from now. So, as I mentioned, you can import images from the web. Yeah, it's working now. Thank you. And they will appear in your media folder as supposed to. Okay, so if you want to use this feature, you have to set your API keys in the new site settings at the media. And at this moment, there is three providers, as I mentioned. If you grab a API key from the providers and you paste that into this, you can use this feature. Yeah, and actually this is the functionality, a little bit code behind. So as I mentioned, it was hard coded in the media library module in the past, but there is a separated web search module from now, and there is the iWeb search provider, which you can use in your own module if you want to implement it in your own. You don't have to touch the client side. So you don't have to write knockout.js code, just inject this provider. And if you want to implement more providers than these, you have to implement this interface, and actually you have to set these properties for that. For example, there is the, where is it? Providers. Here is the Bing Web Search Provider, for example, and I just grab the JSON and set my view model. Also, I used REST for the REST course, and that's all. I think it's good. DLL, yes, and I haven't mentioned yet, but if you are worried about the copyright, the Pixabay image web search provider is under Creative Commons license, so you can use it for commercial use too. And I have to wait for this page to. Okay. Also, there is a new permission for this module, Access Media Web Search, and I'm thinking about what I want to say more, but probably this is it. Thank you. And any questions or feature request or and so on? Sorry?
Köszönöm.
Ah.
Köszönöm.
Yeah, köszönöm. Oh, okay, I understand. Okay. You're welcome.
Haha. I'm learning too. How do you say nice? What's the pronunciation of köszönöm?
Köszönöm.
Köszönöm.
Köszönöm szépen.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Wow. Okay, good job. Thank you. It's a good contribution. The code was super clean also. I don't know how many code reviews you got, but like all the braces were correct, all the spaces and everything. Beautiful. Thanks. And we need that now in Orchard Core because we don't have any search. It would be useful. I don't know how to integrate it in the Media Explorer. We don't even have an editor. I don't know, but there must be a way to do that. We'll see. Good. Any other demo? No other demo. New websites that I didn't see, I missed. I haven't opened a Gitter for a while, so I don't know what's new. Good. What else? I think that's it. Another demo. No announcement. There was nothing special here. So I assume the next thing will be on Thursday for triage, if everyone is good with that. Again, don't hesitate to merge the PRs until I come back next week. In less than a week, I'm back on Monday, so I will be more active. Until then, we will meet again on Thursday for those who join the triage. Thank you everyone for joining and the contributions. Bye bye.